If you're over 60, let me ask you something personal. Do you still have a closet, attic or garage filled with boxes you haven't opened in years? Maybe there's a wedding dress folded away in tissue paper, photographs tucked into albums, shelves lined with knickknacks from vacations, or letters yellowing at the edges. At first glance, these items feel harmless. They're keepsakes, reminders of good times and beloved people. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Sentimental clutter is rarely as innocent as it seems. In fact, it can quietly rob you of your comfort, your peace of mind, and even your health. Think about it. Every time you walk past that overstuffed closet or glance at the piles in the garage, something inside you tenses. You may not even realize it, but your brain is whispering, "I'll deal with that later." Later never comes. And so the weight of stuff grows heavier, not lighter. Now, some of you may already be thinking, but these are my memories. These things are part of me. Letting go feels impossible. That's exactly why this video is going to be both challenging and liberating. Because today I'm going to reveal the 7 ugly truths about sentimental clutter that most seniors don't want to admit. These truths are not about guilt or shame. They're about honesty, freedom, and reclaiming joy in your later years. And here's the promise. Once you face these truths, your relationship with your belongings will never look the same again. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you're going to hear stories you'll recognize, questions you'll feel in your heart, and solutions that are practical, realistic, and gentle. And the 7th truth? It's the one most people never see coming, but it has the power to change everything. Before we dive in, let me ask you, what's the one item in your home that you can't bring yourself to let go of? Is it a piece of clothing, a gift, or maybe a box of old letters? Write it in the comments right now. You'll be surprised how many people share the exact same struggle. And here's why this is so important. When you share, you're not just helping yourself. You're helping someone else realize they're not alone in this battle with clutter. So take a deep breath, lean in, and get ready. Because this isn't just a video about organizing. This is about the weight we carry, the stories we tell ourselves, and the freedom waiting on the other side of letting go. But first, a quick favor. If you're new here and you find this message helpful, please take a second to hit that like button. It helps more seniors like you discover this channel and join our growing community of people choosing freedom over clutter. And while you're at it, subscribe to The Senior Reset. Every week, we share practical, compassionate advice to help you live lighter, healthier, and more joyful in the years ahead. All right, are you ready? Let's uncover the first ugly truth about sentimental clutter. And fair warning, it might sting a little. But remember, sometimes the truth that stings is also the truth that sets us free. Truth 1. Clutter is stealing your space. Think about your home right now. Maybe your guest room has slowly turned into a storage room. Maybe the garage is so packed that your car hasn't fit inside for years. Maybe closets are crammed with clothes from decades past. Clothes you haven't worn in 20 years, but keep just in case. Now ask yourself honestly, when was the last time those spaces truly served you? That guest room could be a craft room, a reading nook, or even a quiet retreat for meditation. Instead, it's a reminder of tasks undone, of objects you no longer use but can't seem to let go of. Here's the painful part. Every inch taken up by clutter is an inch of freedom you no longer have. It's not just about physical space, it's about mental space. A cluttered home creates a cluttered mind. Imagine if your kitchen counters were clear, your closets easy to navigate, your garage open enough to hold not boxes, but maybe even a small workshop for a hobby you love. Clutter steals that possibility. What's the one room in your house that you avoid because of clutter? Write it in the comments. You're not alone. And here's the deeper truth. Clutter grows in silence. A box here, a shelf there, a drawer filled with stuff to sort later. Slowly, the house becomes smaller, not because the walls closed in, but because the objects took over. But here's the good news. Once you begin reclaiming just one corner, you'll feel a surge of freedom. One shelf cleared today becomes one room reclaimed tomorrow. And little by little, you take your home and your life back from clutter. Truth 2. Memories don't live in objects. Let's be honest, this is the hardest part of letting go. We look at an old sweater and say, "This reminds me of the time we took that trip." We hold on to a birthday card and say, "I can't throw this away. It came from someone I loved." But let's pause for a moment. That sweater isn't the memory. That card isn't the relationship. The memory, the laughter, the story, they live inside you, not in the object. I once heard someone say, "If my house caught fire, the first thing I'd grab is my photo albums because they hold all my memories." But is that really true? The albums don't hold the memories, you do. If you lost the album, you'd still remember the trip, the birthday, the smile of the person you loved. This truth is liberating because it shifts the power back to you. You don't need shelves full of souvenirs to prove you've lived a full life. Your heart, your mind, and your stories already carry that proof. And here's a tip. Instead of keeping every item, choose a few that truly matter. Display them proudly, not hidden in boxes. Take photos of the rest if you like, and let them go. That way, the memory is preserved without the weight of the object. Have you ever let go of an item and realized the memory was still with you? Share your story in the comments. You'll inspire someone else. Because here's the truth. Objects can't hold love. Only you can. Truth 3. Clutter creates hidden stress. Most people don't notice it at first. They say, "Oh, I've lived with these piles for years. I'm used to it." But here's what science tells us. Cluttered environments actually raise stress hormones. It's subtle but constant. Every time your eyes see those piles of papers, those overstuffed shelves, your brain registers unfinished business. Think about it. You walk into the kitchen and instead of peace, your mind whispers, "I really should clear this counter." You walk into the living room and your eyes land on that box you've been meaning to sort for years. You don't always say it out loud, but deep down your body feels the weight. This constant stress has real consequences. It can affect sleep, raise anxiety, and even make it harder to focus on daily tasks. Many seniors report that once they begin clearing clutter, they not only feel happier, but physically healthier. Breathing easier, sleeping deeper, even lowering blood pressure. And here's something important. Clutter stress doesn't just affect you, it affects your family. Loved ones may feel worried or overwhelmed when they visit. Sometimes they hesitate to bring it up because they don't want to hurt your feelings. But underneath, they're concerned about your safety and well-being. Be honest, Have you ever avoided inviting someone over because of clutter? If so, you're not alone. Share in the comments, because many people feel the same. The truth is, clutter isn't just piles of objects, it's piles of silent stress. And when you clear them, you don't just free your space, you free your mind. Truth number 4. Your family doesn't want it all. This is honestly one of the most difficult truths to face, but it's also one of the most freeing once it sinks in. Your family doesn't want all your stuff. Now, I know that sounds a bit harsh. After all, so many of us hold on to things with the idea that we're preserving them for our children or grandchildren. Maybe it's a set of dishes, a box of old letters, furniture, or even some old tools. We keep them, thinking one day someone will say, "I am so glad you saved this." But the reality? Most of the time, they don't want it. And it's not because they don't love you, not because they don't care about your memories. It's just that their lives are different. They don't have the space, the same tastes, or really the same connection to these objects that you do. Think back for a moment. Did you want every single thing your parents saved? Or did you perhaps quietly wonder, why did they hold on to this for so long? If you've ever had to clear out a loved one's home after they passed, you know just how overwhelming it can be. Every box feels like a question mark. Do we keep this? Do we toss it? Will someone feel guilty if we let it go? Here's the truth your family may never say out loud. They'd rather inherit your stories than your stuff. They'd rather have memories of laughter at the dinner table than the dinner table itself. They'd rather remember the way you told a story than sort through 50 dusty photo albums they'll never open. Be honest. Have you ever inherited things you didn't know what to do with? Share in the comments, because you know others will relate to that experience. So, what can you do? Start the conversation now. Ask your children or grandchildren what items matter most to them. You may be surprised. They'll often choose just a handful of small, meaningful things. A recipe card in your handwriting. Maybe a single piece of jewelry, a photo that captures a special moment. Not the boxes in the attic, not the old furniture, just the things that truly represent you. When you let go of the rest, you give them a greater gift, the gift of freedom. You save them from the emotional burden of sorting through mountains of things, and instead you leave them with a lighter legacy. And here's something beautiful. By letting go now, you also get to enjoy watching them cherish the things they do want while you're still here. Imagine handing your granddaughter your favorite cookbook and teaching her the recipes yourself. Or giving your grandson your old camera and seeing him discover a love for photography. That's not clutter, that's connection. The ugly truth is that families don't want the clutter. But the beautiful truth is they do want you. And choosing to let go makes room for more shared moments today. Truth number 5. Safety risks multiply with clutter. The next ugly truth is one people rarely admit until, well, an accident happens. Clutter creates serious safety risks. If you're over 60, you already know. Our bodies just don't bounce back the way they used to. A stumble that once would have been nothing more than a bruise can now mean weeks of recovery, physical therapy, or even the loss of independence. And clutter multiplies those risks. Think about your home for a moment. Are there boxes stacked in the hallway? rugs that bunch up because furniture is crowding the space, closets so packed that things fall out when you open them. These aren't just inconveniences, they're hazards. One of the leading causes of injury in older adults is falls, and many of those falls happen at home, in familiar spaces. But the truth is, clutter makes even familiar spaces dangerous. A single box in the wrong spot can turn into a trip to the emergency room. And it's not just falls. Clutter can block exits, making it harder to escape in case of fire. Piles of paper can become fuel for flames. Stacks of items near heaters or lamps can increase fire risk without you even realizing it. I know this isn't easy to hear. Nobody wants to imagine their home as unsafe. But facing this truth can literally save your life. Have you ever tripped over something at home that shouldn't have been there? Share your story in the comments. It might just help someone else take action. Here's a practical way to start. Do a safety walk through your home. Don't focus on organizing, just look for hazards. Ask yourself, is there a clear path from the bedroom to the bathroom? Are the hallways wide enough to walk without bumping into things? Could someone with a cane, walker or wheelchair move easily through this space? If the answer's no, that's where you begin. Every item you move out of the way makes your home safer. Every box you donate is one less obstacle between you and freedom. Clutter is more than just stuff. It can mean the difference between staying independent or needing assistance. It can mean the difference between peace of mind and constant risk. And when you begin to clear it, you're not just creating space, you're protecting your health, your independence, and your future. That's a gift far more valuable than any souvenir or box of papers. Truth 6. Clutter can mask loneliness. This one may be hard to admit, but it's real. Sometimes clutter isn't just clutter, it's company. Think about it. That box of old letters feels like it keeps a loved one close. The shelf of knickknacks feels like a timeline of a life well lived. The stacks of belongings become, in a strange way, companions. When the house feels quiet, the clutter fills the silence. But here's the truth. No pile of papers, no stack of sweaters, no box of trinkets can replace human connection. They remind us of people, yes, but they can't laugh with us, hug us, or share a meal. I once heard a senior say, "When I sit in this room surrounded by my things, I feel less alone." And I understood. But here's the hidden cost. The more we rely on things to fill loneliness, the less we reach for real connection. Instead of calling a friend, we open an old box. Instead of joining a group or a class, we sit with souvenirs. Slowly, without noticing, clutter becomes a substitute for people. Have you ever found yourself holding on to an item because it felt like letting it go would mean letting go of a person? Share your experience in the comments. It could help someone else feel less alone. The hard truth is, clutter can be a barrier, not a bridge. It can keep us anchored in the past instead of living in the present. And it can quietly deepen the loneliness it's trying to cover. Here's the hopeful part. When you begin letting go, you open space for new connections. You might invite friends over without embarrassment. You might feel freer to join a club, volunteer, or start a new hobby. Real connection, real laughter, real love, those fill the heart in a way no object ever can. The ugly truth is that clutter can mask loneliness. But the beautiful truth is that clearing clutter can create room for genuine companionship. Truth 7. Someone else will face it. Now we've arrived at the seventh ugly truth, and for many, this is the hardest to face. If you don't deal with your clutter, someone else will. This isn't just about objects, it's about legacy. Imagine your children or grandchildren standing in your home after you're gone, staring at box after box, drawer after drawer, asking themselves, what do we do with all of this? Instead of grieving and remembering you with peace, they're overwhelmed, exhausted, even resentful, because now the burden has fallen on them. This is something many families never talk about. Out of love, they stay silent. But the truth is, sorting through decades of belongings is not only time-consuming, it's emotionally draining. Every item becomes a decision, and every decision feels like a risk of dishonoring your memory. But here's the gift you can give. Face it now. Not all at once, not perfectly, but step by step. By decluttering, you give your family relief instead of burden. You give them time to grieve and remember you with love, not stress. Have you ever had to clean out a loved one's home after they passed? If so, you know how difficult it can be. Share your experience in the comments. You'll connect with so many others who've been there. Let's flip this truth around. When you take ownership of your belongings now, you're not just cleaning a house. You're creating a legacy of love. You're saying, I don't want to leave this weight on you. I want to leave you freedom. The ugly truth is that someone else will face your clutter if you don't. But the hopeful truth is, you can choose today to make that journey lighter, for you and for them. The freedom of letting go. Now, take a moment and imagine this with me. You wake up in the morning, walk into your living room, and for the first time in years, you don't feel overwhelmed. The shelves are neat, holding only the photos that make you smile every single time you see them. The counters are clear, waiting for a cup of tea or a vase of fresh flowers. The hallway is wide and safe, easy to walk through without a second thought. Your home feels open, calm, and peaceful. But more importantly, you feel lighter. No more quiet guilt whispering, I'll deal with this someday. No more stress from piles that never go away. Instead, there's relief, there's freedom, there's energy to spend on the people and activities that truly bring you joy. Picture inviting a friend over without apologizing for the clutter. Picture hosting your family for dinner without scrambling to clear space at the table. Picture yourself sitting with your favorite book, in a chair surrounded not by piles of objects, but by light and peace. That's the transformation waiting for you. Decluttering is not about losing memories. It's about choosing which memories deserve space in your home and in your heart. It's about keeping the best, letting go of the rest, and finally creating a life that feels lighter, safer, and more joyful. And here's the most powerful part. Every item you let go of is not just something leaving your house, it's stress leaving your life. It's weight off your shoulders. It's freedom gained, inch by inch, room by room. This is the reset waiting for you. Not tomorrow, not someday, but today, if you choose it. So here we are, my friend. We've faced the 7 ugly truths about sentimental clutter together. And maybe along the way you felt a sting of recognition. Maybe you looked around your own home and thought, that's me, that's my hallway, that's my box in the attic. And you know what? That's okay, because recognition is the first step toward freedom. Clutter isn't a sign of failure, it's a sign of a life well lived. It means you've collected stories, moments, memories and mementos. But now you have the chance to decide which of those stay and which you're ready to release. So if this message resonated with you, I want you to do two things right now. One, click the like button. It tells YouTube that this video is worth sharing with other seniors who need encouragement. Two, subscribe to this channel. That one simple click connects you to a community of people just like you, seniors who are choosing freedom, peace, and new beginnings.